Hello and welcome again. As promised in our last CoolSign series module, Importing Product Keys, we will be covering how to load content using the CoolSign Network Manager. In this series, we will be covering the following: how to distinguish between the three types of content there are, give a clear and better understanding on how to import content using the import feature using the Action tab, as well as use the drag and drop method, which is my preferred method. We will also go over how to export and delete content. Note, no matter which product line you are using, DCU, Powtronics, Multilink, or Mystery to load content on a CoolSign Node player, this process will be the same. It's just a matter of assigning the correct dynamic data when required. As mentioned in our agenda, we want to start with understanding the various types of content there are. There are three types. You have attract, you have progressive meter, and you have progressive win or jackpot. Okay, that was easy. Let's look at the difference of each type of content. The first type of content I want to discuss will be the attract. Attract content is used as advertisement, attraction, and game information. The name could vary, but just remember this content does not show meter values. To identify, the name will be one identifying factor, i.e. 24 karat attract, quick hits attract, number one. The other way will be to double click on the content, open it, and review the tabs to see if a dynamic data table is assigned. Attract content should not have this tab. Our next type of content we want to discuss will be our progressive meter. This content is used to show the current meter values being sent from the EGM to the CEI that is running on a CoolSign Node player, i.e. we're talking about things like Maps Bridge, Data Watcher, etc. To identify this content, again, the name is one way to tell. The other is simply open the content to see if it has a dynamic data table. The last type of content we want to talk about will be our progressive winner. This content is used to display progressive wins or jackpot celebrations. This content will have a winner animation, and when open, you will find it also has a dynamic data table. Now that we've covered how to identify the various types of content, let's look at the different ways of loading content to a CoolSign Node player. Again, to give a clear understanding, no matter the system, standalone or network, this process is the same, so this module of training will apply to them all. As we mentioned earlier, we can use the import feature within the software, and we can also do the infamous drag and drop, which is my preferred method. Okay, enough babbling. Here's what I want you to do. Log into the software. Once the application has opened, select the Content Manager tab, located on the left side of the application software. This first process for loading content that will be discussed is the drag and drop method. But before we do this, let's create a new quick set folder. To do this, somewhere in the window under the Show All Items quick set, right click using your mouse. A quick set wizard appears. Select New Quick Set. Create a name for that quick set. For the name, I'd like to recommend using the game theme name, i.e. again, Quick Hits 24 karat, Michael Jackson, Paradise Island, and so on. This will be the location where we will keep all content being used when configuring the channel, which will be discussed in a later module. Now, reduce CoolSign Network Manager down to half of the screen size. Navigate to where you have your desired content loaded at. Open the folder with the content and highlight all the content desired to use. Using your mouse, hold down the left mouse key. Take all the highlighted content and drag over to the reduced window. I want to make a note. Drop this content in the management window when doing so. Observe the mouse icon. It will show a plus sign indicating it's okay to release the mouse key in that area. Notice, while the content is loading, you will see a progression bar that indicates the progress of each piece of content being loaded. Also like to note, any content that has an existing meter table, you will be prompted to confirm the data table overwrite. Here you will select yes for all content that asks this question. Once completed, this will complete using the drag and drop method for content. Now, let's look at using the import feature. To import content, there are two ways. You can select the Action tab key and import content. You can also go to the management window after creating your quick-set folder and use your mouse by simply highlighting, then right-clicking the mouse and select the import content. Note, the same as the drag and drop method, you will select yes for all content that has an existing meter table. You'll need to navigate to the location as to where the content resides to import the content. Also note, when using this process, it allows you to upload each piece of content individually. You can't import it as a group. Once you've imported all the desired content needed, this process is complete. As you can see, the drag and drop method can be the most beneficial to use, since you can load all the content at once, instead of loading it individually using the import method. Either way, practice both so that you become very familiar with the process of each. Now that we've covered the various ways of loading content, let's look at how to export and delete content. Just like importing content, you have two ways to export and delete content. We'll only discuss how to do each in one way only. Why do we want to export content? One reason would be to modify the content externally. The other reason would be to transfer content from one CoolSign network manager to another network. Now, how do we export the content? Easy enough, here's how. In your Content Manager data grid, select one or more content items to export. Choose the Actions tab, then select Export Content. Select the destination folder from the browser for a new folder location to export content. Click OK. A Content Export Progress dialog box displays. Once completed, content has been exported. You can now verify this by navigating to the location where content was exported and view it. This completes this portion of exporting content. Last on our list to discuss, we will be deleting content. This is probably the easiest of all. Here's how. In the Content Manager data grid, select the desired content to be deleted. Using your mouse, right-click on the content, select Delete from the menu, select Yes when prompted. Are you sure you want to delete the selected content? This completes this section on deleting content. Thank you for attending this module on loading content on CoolSign players. Again, if you have any questions or need assistance of any type, contact our technical support team. In our next CoolSign Series Module 3, we will cover data table and give a clear understanding on the CEI, Casino Equipment Interface.